402-792-9222. Perfect Mother's Day gift because you get to enjoy it just as much as Mom. What's our Joe's angle of the day, Teddy?
You like 17-0 angles?
I do.
We got one.
All right.
Rockies, 17-0 as a minus 140 or higher favorite off a home game in which they hit a home run.
Well, they hit a home run yesterday.
They did.
John Gray is more than a 140 favorite today.
He is.
So they qualify as the 17-0 side.
They do. Now, overall, teams at minus 140 or higher, let's say since the start of 2018, 65.7%.
Well, which means nothing, basically.
Yeah, it means break even. But this team is 17-0, Rockies.
All right. I will update you that Diamondbacks have just taken a 3-2 lead in the top of the 13th at Tampa.
Much to your chagrin.
Well, Wilmer Flores comes to. It's just one of those games. The Rays are 1 for 16 with runners in scoring position.
And counting.
Yeah, so it's just one of those games. And they tied it in the bottom of the ninth and then got a runner thrown out at the plate to try and win the game. It's just one of those games that's like, this is not going to win, okay? It's the front end of a parlay for me, so it's only going to cost me 1 unit. Let's go to some Major League Baseball. Actually, we'll include some Major League Baseball, but this is a lot of NBA here and some NHL as well as we touch on the Wednesday edition of the MJ Christensen 4 at 4.
1, 2, 3 into the 4.
Put them fours up. Put the fours up, I said. Do it right now.
Tonight's action is just around the bend, and the guys want to get your night off to a great start.
4.
It's the Las Vegas Sportsline's 4 at 4.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. Unbelievable.
And speaking of Mother's Day, the food's great at Joe's. The jewelry's great at MJ Christensen. I mean, Mother's Day, this is a big one. You do need to, I think, get something tangible, something she can wear. That's always going to work.
Yeah, the old, coupon for a back rub doesn't work for Mom.
Not really. No. And MJ Christensen's not going to get undersold. So take a ride over to Boca Park and feast your eyes on an amazing selection of Mother's Day gifts at prices that you will, they won't kill you, all right? And they'll get you the best deals in town. It's as simple as that at MJ Christensen. We start with the Celtics and Bucks. I don't know. I'm a little surprised that the house at Caesars might actually be rooting for Milwaukee tonight. The Celtics look to me like a beaten team. Now, again, the NBA is certainly not my specialty. But I think Milwaukee is sitting at 3-1 here is going to end this tonight. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe the Celtics are competitive for a half, but I can see them getting wiped out in the second half.
Well, I mean, the Celtics are one of the only, I think there's only 2 franchises in NBA history that have come back from 3-1 deficits in the postseason multiple times.
Not with these players.
Of course, the last time Boston did that was the 1981 Eastern Conference Final. So
that
it's been a while.
I think Larry Bird might have been on that team. So, unless Larry's coming out of retirement tonight. No thanks.
I mean, the teams, this is a Celtics team that at times this year looked chemistry challenged. And in the last 3 games, I don't know if it's chemistry challenge or it's just Kyrie Irving's getting beaten badly.
Well, it also looks like a guy who's already
got his
left
bags
Boston.
packed.
Yeah, I mean, the bags are packed. And I think that can impact the whole team. I don't know. We'll see. But they can't stop Giannis, okay? And the Bucks, the Bucks don't kid around. When they've got a chance to put a team away, they've been really good at it.
They've been really, and we've seen more than once in this NBA postseason, when a team's done, they're done. We've seen some of these elimination games with the teams that are done look, be over by halftime.
Well, it's definitely an elimination game tonight in San Jose because this is Game 7 between the Avalanche and Sharks. San Jose is clearly the public choice in this game. I don't know. I really think it's a coin flip. I think San Jose might be a slightly better team on 2 counts. Number 1, and maybe the most important being they've got Game 7 experience already. They found a way to win. It took a miracle, but they did find a way to win against the Golden Knights. And, having that Game 7 win on home ice in their resume already, maybe a bit of a plus. But to me, this is coming down to the third period, and I think it's going to be a 1-goal game.
And, what do we do, Dave? It's little edges over time. That's how we make money. And here is a coin flip game, essentially. Where everyone say it's a coin flip game, and you're getting you can find plus 125 with it. You can find plus 130 right now.
I've got better than that for the series, though.
On the dog. Yeah, and you know, you give me plus 130 every time I'm doing a coin flip, I'll do coin flips with you all day.
I can't argue against
problem.
that. On the diamond tonight, the Angels and Tigers matchup. Pretty good matchup here. Tyler Skaggs, who's been pitching pretty well for the Angels, and Matthew Boyd, who's been pitching extremely well for the Tigers. He's one of the few starters who is unbeaten on the average game score check. What that is grading a pitcher's performance. He's had 7 starts this year, and he's yet to have a negative start. Now, you know, Charlie Morton was 7-0 in that category going into today, and he had his first off game of the year. He only lasted 5 innings and wasn't real good. So maybe that happens to Boyd tonight, but there's been some money on Detroit here, and I can't argue with it.
Although, I mean, Skaggs beat me last time out, and he was sharp.
Yeah, he was.
You know, the first time out, coming off the DL, there were some issues in Kansas City. His command wasn't where it wanted to be. And last time he walked a couple of batters. I think he walked 3. But he pitched a pretty good game. And this is a guy that you normally see money on as opposed to money against. I look at the Angels as a better team than Tigers overall. And Boyd has put up, you know, what does he have, 6 straight quality stars? And you talked about
7,
the advanced metrics that show a lot of support for him. The markets have certainly moved in that direction all morning and into the afternoon. L.A. was a short favorite. Now they're a short dog.
And the Reds and A's. Mike Fiers coming off the no-hitter last night, the second no-hitter of his career. And, you know, here's how some of the
That's random.
Yes.
For him to have 2 no-hitters. Homer Bailey's got 2 no-hitters.
I know.
To go along with Verlander and Scherzer and Arrieta.
You know, we talked about something on yesterday's show, and it's Tyler Mahle pitched for the Reds yesterday.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether he pitches well or badly. They lose every time he shows up anyway. They're now 1-11 in his starts going back to last year. And that's part of the weird stuff in baseball that you have to
factor in.
Yeah, you really do. Tonight, they've got Sonny Gray out there who's pitching good ball and has nothing to show for it. 0 wins. He's going back to Oakland. I mean, this is one of those things where there's a lot of stuff that points to the Reds here. Sonny Gray returning home. The Reds, you would think, somewhat irritated after getting no hit last night. And I still couldn't pull the trigger on Cincinnati. They're a difficult team to bet on.
Well, how much
even with the positive run differential?
Let me ask you this, because how much of the no-hitter last night was that bank of lights being out and then coming on as the game progressed?
He had some good defense behind him too.
Sure, you know, when you're pulling home run backs, home runs back, that certainly helps you get a no-hitter. But at the same time, Sonny Gray, his A game is good.
Yeah,
it's the kind of game where we think he's going to show it. But I think there might be some upside with Oakland. And the other issue with Cincinnati is that lineup is very hit or miss, and it's been more miss than hit of late.
The Wager Talk Marquee matchup, it's an easy one. Houston at Golden State, that's coming up next.
The Las Vegas Sportsline.
With John Lyons from Lyons Physical Therapy, the ratings for LPT are as good as they get, 5 out of 5 stars. What makes Lyons Physical Therapy unique as a treatment option?
Yeah, Dave, and we're thankful for that. We've had great patients and customers over the years that have given us honest reviews. I think what separates us from other companies is that we pay attention to our patients. We individualize their treatment plan. We take our time and use our manual therapy skills and our hands to actually work on every patient. These patients aren't just a number. We're actually trying to help them, and we listen to their needs and what works best for them.
LionsPTLV.com, 702-476-0222. I'm with Cliff Miller from MJ Christensen at Boca Park. Cliff, I'm an old guy. I got some old jewelry. Any ideas what I can do with it?
Oh, absolutely. One of our largest categories is custom design. My son Rusty does it all. And it's the most incredible thing to see styles that are 30, 40 years old that people haven't worn in years and see what he creates out of those diamonds, precious gems, and that metal. And you will be sparkling and feel top of the world when you leave MJ Christensen.
MJ Christensen, located at Boca Park. What's hot today? It's time for the Wager Talk Marquee Matchup of the Night. WagerTalk.com. Start winning now.
All right, here we go. This is a big one. All eyes on Oracle tonight as the Oakland, soon-to-be San Francisco, Golden State Warriors, trying to win one more championship, but this is a big game tonight as they host the Rockets, who have gotten themselves back into this series. It's now a best of 3, and Teddy, this is going to be fun to watch.
Sure. And I mean, all 4 games so far have literally come down to the final minute, and they've all been decided by 6 points or less, which, when you talk about laying 6 in a series where there's been no separation between the two teams, that's not always easy to do. At the same time, it's been home teams all 4 games. It's certainly not like the Rockets at any point in this series have dominated Golden State.
No. Or vice versa, really, right? I mean, the Warriors maybe have had better moments, but Houston hasn't gone away.
Well, I mean, the scary thing for Golden State, in a sense, is, A, how much they're using their core group. I mean, the usage rates for, Curry and Thompson and Durant and Green, all much, much higher than it's been in previous championship runs. Iguodala as well. This is a guy that played more than 30 minutes, 3 times in the regular season. Yeah. And he's done it almost every game in the series, only 29 last time, so he stayed under 30. But
although we'll mention that, I mean, if there's a guy who always steps his game up in the playoffs, it's Iguodala.
He's been and capable of doing so. And, when you think about Golden State returning home off of 2 straight losses, they haven't played their best. Thompson hasn't had a big game in this series. The death lineup hasn't done what it's supposed to do. In theory, it's a Warriors spot if this is the Warriors' year, and if it's not. It's been a very competitive series, and Houston's looked every bit as good, if not better, than Golden State, pretty much in 3 of the 4 games.
Well, and the other thing is that the one team in the league that we know isn't intimidated at all by the Rockets or by the Warriors is the Houston Rockets. Hell, they're still carrying a chip on their shoulder from last year because they feel they should have won that series. Although, now, you can argue that's only in their own minds, but that's the way they feel about it. And it's part of the reason that they showed no panic when they fell behind 2-0 in this series.
No, and they certainly played well in games 3 and 4. But the quotes coming out of Houston are, we have to play better than we did. And we've seen issues closing out games for the Rockets. They didn't close well in either of the 2 home games. And if they have an opportunity to close tonight, they got to be able to close that game out.
So this is why it's such a tough bet, though, because if you think, well, they're not going to be able to close it out and the Warriors are going to win the game, it's an awful steep price to lay on the money line. And the flip side of it is it's a lot of points as well. I mean, I think you can make a case at least that even though the idea is not to pick teams you think are going to lose the game and happen to cover the spread. It just isn't. I mean, that's just not a real good way to bet. But I got a feeling that's what happens tonight.
And that's a strategy. If you just pick the winner in the NBA playoffs, you cash better than 80% of the time. It's the same story in the NFL. And,
I would worry that this might fall into the 20% category. I mean, that's just the way I see it. I didn't bet. Obviously, I didn't bet the game.
It has the potential to be every bit as close as each of the last 4 meetings have been. And, there's been vulnerability for the Warriors as home favorites all year. They've been, they've been bad home chalk. They've been winning games by not big enough margins to cover these numbers. Here in the postseason, they've already lost a pair of games at home, and only one time have they won by more than 6 points.
Loads of good stuff at wagertalk.com. Big announcements coming over the next few weeks as well, which will alert you to as they become available. And the news, of course, will be at wagertalk.com or follow them on Twitter at wagertalk. Time for us to go to our Lions Physical Therapy Play of the Day.
It's the LPT Play of the Day. Tonight's best bet from Lions Physical Therapy. Your 5-star rated specialists.
I have only one game going tonight, so I guess I'll toss it out.
Well, I mean, I feel like we should be going against the Indians as $2 favorites. Which we haven't talked about.
All right, so go ahead.
I mean, we talked about Cleveland as being selfish. We talked about everything wrong in Cleveland right now. I'm not excited about laying $2 with Bieber. You get plus 180 on the White Sox. Ride the hot, fade the cold.
Yeah, is it Reynaldo Lopez tonight? You never know which Lopez is going to show up. If it's the good Lopez, he can strike out 14 guys.
Yeah, the potential
is the bad
there.
Lopez, he can be out after 14 guys, okay? Or less than that. All right, big price with the White Sox. That's your Lions Physical Therapy Play of the Day. Thanks to Jeff Davis, Director of Trading at Caesars. Awesome job, as always. For Teddy Covers, Ted Savransky, and Jared Justice, I'm Dave Koch, and we hope you'll keep it right here because 3 hours of fun coming up with Cofield and Company here on The Sports Leader. We will be back tomorrow. It'll be a CG Thursday. Either Tony DiTomaso or Will Bernanke from CG will be with us. And then on Friday, I think we'll have Chuck Esposito back on Friday from Station Casino, Sunset Station. That